Kabbalah for Complete Life Management, Chapter 14, Rabbi Michael-ben-Pesach, Portnaar. Language and the meaning of words. From the first start, the human being always has felt the connection with the inner, between the inner root and the material thing. All animals were brought to Adam. He had to give them a name, and he has given all the creatures a name, so they would be named. He had seen the connection between the inner laws and the reality. Before the Babel-like confusion, there was only one language. The language was the inner connection between the strength of the root and his earthly manifestation. After a while, he got further away from the laws of the universe. More and more layers were there. Each development meant a new layer around the essential, the inner. On the one hand, we name this progress. Humanity realizes new dimensions and feel them. But, on the other hand, it was an elimination of the light, and we became less in agreement with the laws of the universe. We were uprooted. There was a lack for the source of life. Then came the period of the flood. Only Noah and his sons survived. For this generation came another generation till the time of the Babel-like confusion. On the one hand, the Babel-like confusion is the cause of the dwelling to receive an egoistic manner. Humanity wanted to build a tower as high as the sky to be independent from the endless light. They said what all generations say: let us make use of our brains, and what we can't understand doesn't exist. We don't want to see the laws of the universe. What we did was creating a new building in where we didn't need the laws of the universe. It is an allegoric story, but everything is meant in strength. It wasn't in his thought to have one language. The intention was to be one with our inner, to be what we are from the inside, and to develop new forces to come to new layers. Therefore, we see so many nations, different faces to come to the understanding of the universe. Each nation has his special forces, and together we have it all. Each language is in agreement with the root of their nation. All nations were spread around the earth, but they lost their unique connection between their language and the inner roots. Nowadays, we can't see the strength hidden in the word. For example, the word dog, or hunt, or hond, or sabaka. There is absolutely no agreement within these words. The origin of the language in which we could see the agreement is lost. The origin of language is the language wherein we can see the everlasting connection, considering the humanity. The origin language is the language wherein we can see the laws of the universe. There is only one language left, the language wherein the Torah is written. Here we see the agreement between the inner root and the earthly manifestation. Reading these words is enough. You don't have to go outside and to look at the stars or to an animal to see its development. Everything is to be found back in the word. In a word, in a name, you can see the development of the being. Whether he should make the development is up to him. Only one language is enough for this connection. It is just as with Microsoft. They are taking care for the language of the computer while you're working on your computer. We buy new computer games and other programs without worrying about the control system, which is hidden for us. Your first name. There is still one connection between the root and his manifestation here on earth during the everlasting process of roughening. Your first name. This bound exists in every language. In every language we see the need of the nation. There are languages with only the numbers 1, 2, 3, and more, because they don't need more. But in their first name is hidden their root. In the first name we see the destination, the guidance, and the protection, no matter the language. The name given by your parents has been whispered in their ears from above. Through the combination of the letters, you can see the choices hidden in your name. In the name we see the destination and the fulfillment of the person, also the road he could better avoid. The combination of letters makes visible the destination. You can have a word with 3 consonants, but also 2 or 4. Simple names and old words, for example, from your parents or grandparents, consist only of 2 consonants. The more consonants a name has, the more combinations you can make. If you have a word with 5 consonants, 120 words are possible. There are so many strengths hidden in the name of a person You only have to look for the right combination. In the forehead of a person is to see if he's working on himself or not. A true master in the Kabbalah is a specialist in the inner of the human being. He can feel the way of the disease within the inner being. The outer being can ruin the inner being. When we're talking about diseases, we mean the lack of correction. One day a specialist of tarot cards came to me and asked me some lesson to do his work better. But after a while, it wasn't possible for him to lay the cards. In the tarot, you have to remember all characters, and this is opposite to the Kabbalah, where you don't remember a thing. Before there is the learning you have to experience first. It has to fall on you, and don't worry, it will fall in the right place. Kabbalah teaches you not to remember. There is no remembering in the Kabbalah, and this is so different from the learning you have done in school. Here you learn the experience is the understanding. The inner can't do anything with your outer understanding. It is all about your experience, what you receive, your feeling, and what you remember. You can't remember the inner with your outer memory. Don't struggle. Try to be aware. This is the way to return to your inner. Repentance is a permanent tool. This constant attitude will lead you to your fulfillment. If you ask, is it possible to arrive at the finish? Then you're asking a question with your intellect. Every corrections, even the smallest, works in your whole body. It deepens all your corrections till you come to the end of the correction. The smallest correction has its impact on the whole of correction. What you have learned today has its outcome in the rest of your package of fields you have to correct.